So a very important session at the UN Security Council. His Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs had already emphasized the importance of taking 6 immediate measures to stop the escalation in the situation that we have seen highlighted in the report. And as Dr. Allam was also speaking of the conditions in Gaza and the principles of the humanitarian law, Shukri also spotlighted the warnings that Egypt has repeatedly stated concerning the practices against the unarmed Palestinian civilians. What does it take, Dr. Allam, in order to revive the peace process? How can we keep this make this alarming scenario come to an end, in your opinion? Concerted efforts, of course, on behalf of the international community in order to undertake their obligations.
Yes, this is definitely a very important question, and let me at the very beginning seize this opportunity in order to really salute and express my deep appreciation of the stance of the people of Egypt and the stance of the Egyptian state itself, as the Egyptian people has impressively managed to demonstrate a unified stance in this regard, alongside with the efforts of the Egyptian state in showing their support and solidarity with the people of Palestine, and clearly showing to the whole world that the solution to the Palestinian cause has always been one of the top concerns of the Egyptian state, and all these efforts reflected in Egypt's continuous endeavors in order to find and to reach a peaceful solution to this conflict, and all the calls that Egypt has been reiterating, and what we have witnessed and what the world has witnessed with regards to the peace summit that was held just a few days ago here in Cairo, and providing a platform even before the United Nations for all concerned parties and for all world leaders to come and to show and bring about a solution. This is definitely indicative of Egypt's firm stance in this regard, and especially how Egypt clearly has been very professionally taking a stance that complies with the rules of international law, with the rules of international humanitarian law. We have seen how Egypt has been keen on providing humanitarian aid through the legal and through the worldwide recognized means of entry to the Gaza Strip. We have seen how the UN's Secretary General Antonio Guterres was here in order to address the situation, and he himself has witnessed how Egypt as a sovereign state is bound and observes the rules of international law and its international commitments. So it takes an honest stance from all concerned parties. It takes a humanitarian and honest stand from all world leaders in order to really revive in a meaningful manner the peace process. But sadly, and all observers attest to this, that it is not the Palestinians or Egypt or the Arab countries that have been blocking the means to any peaceful solutions. On the contrary, we clearly see from the Israeli side total disregard for the rules of international humanitarian law repeatedly, and not only since the start of the recent escalation on the 7th of October, the total disregard for the international humanitarian law and the international law when it comes to the apartheid system, when it comes to the blockade on the Gaza Strip and other parts of the occupied lands of Palestine, when it comes to the racial discriminations that the people of Palestine have been suffering from for decades. Now, when it comes to the separation wall, that's a clear sign of an apartheid system that completely disregards not only the rules of international humanitarian law, but all the relevant UN resolutions that are supposed to be binding on all parties, and the respect for the borders that were drawn by the international bodies in this regard. So the point is, it really takes an honest and a humanitarian stance in order to really bring about an end to this suffering, because if this is not to happen, and this is clearly the case for any observer who looks into the stance of the Arab countries represented, for instance, in the stance of a great nation like Egypt and a very prominent power in the region as Egypt, the point is there is this dire need in order to address this situation, because what we are currently witnessing is nothing but a genocide that is taking place against civilians who have nowhere to go, who are derived and denied from very basic humanitarian needs like food, drinking water, safe shelters. And you have seen how is it very recently the Baptist Church was not spared in clear violation of all rules of international humanitarian law, even churches, even mosques. And this is not new. The thing is, this is definitely very outrageous, this is horrendous, this is totally unacceptable, but this is not new. And all what it takes is just to be a sound-minded human being with an honest and objective intellect in order to see what has been happening and what has been unfolding all the way back to 1948. So we don't even need to dig so deep back in history in order to trace the roots of the current conflict. We are clearly witnessing an ongoing process of ethnic cleansing.
It is collective violence, actually, that is resulting from the cumulative policies over 75 years.
Yes.
So how do you see the efforts that should be undertaken by the international community meanwhile? We have more than one stance, of course. Recently, Jordanian King Abdullah II said that the relentless bombing campaign underway in Gaza is cruel and inconsistible on every level, describing it as collective punishment of a besieged and helpless population. The media is playing a very important role in highlighting this, and the importance also of concerted efforts on behalf of regional as well as international partners. How do you see that role in order to be able to put an end to this current escalation of the situation?
Definitely informing the global public opinion has to be the responsibility of all objective, neutral, unbiased media specialists and journalists. But it's very sad to see that how is it there is a very manifest and very explicit bias against the people of Palestine, and turning a total disregard and blind eye and a deaf ear to the atrocities taking place in the Gaza Strip. We are clearly seeing how is it over 6,000 people have been killed so far as a result of the brutal attacks of the Israeli war machine. And we have clearly seen, and this is witnessed by all and reported by all concerned international bodies related or concerned about international humanitarian law, how there are clear violations when it comes to the targeting of civilians, to when it comes to the usage of internationally prohibited weapons such as the white phosphorus that we have seen live on the media outlets being used, and clearly targeting nothing but civilian neighborhoods, and as the world has all witnessed, even churches and mosques, and even the missions of international bodies like the Red Cross and the UNRWA, they are not spared. And in addition to this, we now are hearing of plans and schemes of forcing another displacement, as if the first Nakba was not enough, and now we are witnessing a further plan and scheme in order to displace the native Palestinians from their lands where they were born, where they grew up for centuries, and they have their long-standing history that goes all the way even before the foundation of the State of Israel. So we are clearly witnessing a humanitarian cause in the first place, and all what it takes is just to be a fair human being in order to take a stance in this regard and really seek to bring about a meaningful, peaceful solution.
Yes, definitely. Egypt is continuously seeking to address the root causes of the escalation. And this is very important through a just and comprehensive and sustainable solution to the Palestinian cause. This is what is actually needed. It's a decades-old issue that needs to be resolved with the two-state solution.
And let me also here...
the 1967 borders, yes,
and let me also here highlight a very important point that really needs to be addressed here when it comes to the stance of the Egyptian people and the Egyptian state.
Yeah.
Egypt has always been clear on the fact that this is not a religious war. This is not against Judaism and against Jewish people. Egypt has always been a safe haven for Jews for centuries, and many Arab countries as well. But it was actually this scheme of founding Israel that brought about this division and enmity against the Jewish people. This concept of anti-Semitism has nothing to do with the Arab world or the Muslim majority countries, and all the historically reported atrocities that were committed against the Jews in the world. It was not perpetrated by Muslims or by Arabs, let alone by Palestinians. So it has to be made clear to the world public opinion that this is not a religious war. This is not because of a grudge held against Judaism or the Jewish people. This is clearly a political colonial project that is expanding at the expense of peaceful and native people who are now paying the cost of this political project. And it is innocence from both sides, as a matter of fact, from Palestinians and also Jews on the other side. They are paying the price for this political project and colonial project. And this is why there is a very dire need for world leaders to understand that this unconditional support for this colonial project is more of a burden than an interest. The cost, the humanitarian cost, the political cost, the economic cost that the support of this colonial project is causing and is bringing about far exceeds, as a matter of fact, any political gain in the region and beyond.
Yes, definitely. Well, even in times of crises, as we've seen, there are principles, and even in times of war, there are rules, and with a sense of respect to international humanitarian law. I thank you so much for coming, Dr. Hossam Deen Allam, lecturer and international humanitarian law expert, for coming tonight and reading with us the news headlines as they unfold. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. Tomorrow, another team on the Daily Debate. I'm Taghirit Hussein. Many thanks for watching.